Ilia Topuria just knocked out Charles Oliveira at UFC 317 International Fight Week, and it was absolutely easy for him, and he did it as brutally as possible. We're gonna break this down, and we're gonna talk about the superstar that is Ilia Topuria, and where he goes from here, and like what's his limit, right? So let's start with the actual fight. Yeah, Ilia Topuria just fucking murdered Charles Oliveira, which was literally so sad to watch, but it happened. And Ilia Topuria is him, man. Like, let's break down this fight actually really quick. I remember going into this fight, a lot of people were like, "Oh, there's a big size difference," or Ilia Topuria's power won't translate well, or Ilia Topuria is like too small, or he's overrated. He beat compromised Volk and he beat drained Max Holloway, right? These were the excuses coming to this fight from all the Charles Oliveira fans, and I predicted this shit, man. In my prediction video, I literally said, and I've been saying it all the way up until the fight, right before the fight, I told my friend that we watched together, I told Ilia Topuria is going to knock Charles Oliveira out cold in round 1. I literally called this shit, man, because I know that Ilia Topuria is a fucking savage. So let's break down this fight a little bit. Ilia Topuria, like, this was all Ilia Topuria, by the way. People are like, "Oh, but Charles Oliveira's grappling is too good for Ilia Topuria." Charles Oliveira, he's a great fighter. He's made in grappling. He'll just take him down and do whatever he wants on the ground. I'm like, bro, did you watch? Like, all right, let's start off with the fight, okay? Bell rings. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. They exchanged a little bit. Some combinations were thrown from each side. Charles was landing, Ilia was landing. Charles didn't really get rocked by any of it. But then 40 seconds in, Charles Oliveira gets the underhooks, pushes Topuria against the cage, gets the underhooks on Ilia Topuria. And you're like, oh, for sure he's going to take him down now, right? Because he has it under the arms and it's just going to trip him down, right? But instead, what I thought that Charles was going to take him down, Ilia Topuria reversed it and landed up in top position. And then on Charles Oliveira, who's a big lightweight, who is amazing at jiu-jitsu, black belt jiu-jitsu, like that's what he's known for, right? Ilia Topuria gets top position on Charles Oliveira, passes to full guard, passes to side control, passes to crucifix, and then he's like, I'm just going to get up. So he tries getting up. Charles Oliveira, grabs, he's threatening a heel hook, a leg lock or whatever it was. And, that's leg locks don't work in high-level MMA. We all know this. And Ilia Topuria gets out of it. It's a little bit scary. I wasn't really that scared. Ilia Topuria got out of it, and they're just, now he's standing, Charles Oliveira's guard, a couple calf kicks, and then Mark Goddard, the ref, stands him up. And then they stand up. Ilia Topuria, it literally took him 30 seconds just to knock him out after that. Not only did he knock him out cold, all he threw was a right hook, and that was it. That is all it took to put Charles Oliveira, one of the most durable guys in the lightweight division, out cold. He literally went to the shadow realm. Ilia Topuria is brutal, man, and I'm telling you right now, I would pick him in a fight against Arman. I would pick him in a fight against Paddy Pimblett. I would pick him in a fight against Islam Makhachev. That's how good he is. And I'm going to say this right now. I think Ilia Topuria is the best pound-for-pound fighter on the roster right now, for sure. And I also think he's the best fighter I've ever seen of all time. Think of this. Knocked out Volk in round 2. Out cold. Slept him. Knocked out the first guy to knock out Max Holloway. He knocked out Max Holloway, the granite chin Max Holloway, who's never been knocked out before. Ilia Topuria knocked him out. And by the way, with the bad gloves, too. Moves it to lightweight, and then knocks Charles Oliveira out cold within 3 minutes. It was that easy, dude. And I'm telling you right now, like, he is, in my opinion, he's my favorite fighter right now, 100%. I've been saying this. He's my favorite fighter. But he's also the best fighter I've ever seen. And I don't see anyone really beating him. I think he sleeps everyone in the lightweight division. including Arman. He for sure sleeps Rufus, Justin Gaethje. He sleeps Poirier. And, dude, just to go into detail how crazy this knockout against Charles Oliveira is Charles Oliveira has fought the who's of the lightweight division, right? He fought his first fight was against Michael Chandler. Going back, he fought Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, right? Those are good wins. He fought Michael Chandler, who clipped him. Michael Chandler has good power. He's not a good fighter. But Michael Chandler hurt him, right? Didn't knock him out, but he got hurt, came back and won it. Then he fought Dustin Poirier, who knocked him down a couple times. Didn't KO him. No. He got knocked down, and then Charles Oliveira got back up and submitted him. Gaethje knocked him down 3 times, and then Charles Oliveira submitted him. He's got knocked down by Islam Makhachev, and then got submitted by Islam. But he's been knocked down by Chandler, Poirier, and Gaethje, the 3 hardest hitting guys. Maybe not Chandler, but Poirier and Gaethje, 100%, the hardest hitting guys in the lightweight division. And when people are like, "Oh, but Dustin Poirier, he's got the biggest power in the lightweight division. If he could knock out Charles Oliveira, then Ilia Topuria can't." That's what people were saying before this fight, right? Ilia Topuria did it with, not only did he knock him out cold, he did it with ease. He predicted it. He said he would knock him out in round 1, and he did that. He said he would knock out Volk. He did that. He said he'd be the first person to knock out Max Holloway. He did that. And so after the Max Holloway fight, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, whatever Ilia Topuria, this is big glazing, but whatever Ilia Topuria says, he'll do, And I think this guy is the best fighter on the roster. I think he's the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter on the roster, even above Islam Makhachev. And that fight needs to happen, by the way. We'll get into that in a second. But this fight just proved how dominant and how on a different level Ilia Topuria is, right? So, I mean, now we get into what's next for Ilia Topuria. And I didn't really like the post-fight interview where they had Paddy Pimblett come in. I think that was kind of stupid because Pimblett's coming off a win over, Michael Chandler, who just came off a loss, and he's ranked number 7 in the world, right? And I don't think Paddy Pimblett deserves a title shot, but then again, maybe Paddy Pimblett does deserve the you know what I mean? Let's think about it. Arman Tsarukyan, who you can see right here, Arman Tsarukyan is theoretically and technically, and what we all agree, is next for the title shot, right? He beat Charles Oliveira already. He's the number 1 contender. He was going to fight Islam Makhachev, then pulled out because he couldn't make weight. And even though he is next, he should be next, even though he's the next best lightweight on the roster. UFC already made it clear that he's not getting the next title shot, and it's time for him to go back in line, They offered a fight against Mateus Gamrot. He declined it. They offered a fight against, I don't know who else he's got offered a fight. But, you know what I mean? It's clear that the UFC has made it 100% clear that Arman is not going to fight for the title next, and he needs one more fight, back to the drawing board. So it's clear that he's not going to get the next fight, even though he should. But, he did ruin an event, and I mean, how much clearer does the UFC need to make it? Arman, fight somebody already. You know what I mean? Stop sitting on your fucking ass and fight somebody. Fight Paddy or fight Gaethje or fight anyone. Even except the Mateus Gamrot fight, just fight anyone. You're going to beat them. The only person you're not going to beat is Ilia Topuria. So just fight anyone you want, man. Because they said you need one more fight. So fight someone. Stop being the backup for Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Stop being the backup for Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. We don't want you as a backup. We want you to fight. You know what I mean? So it's clear that Arman's not next. And who's after that? Charles Oliveira just got slept by Ilia Topuria. He's not next. Dustin Poirier, win or lose, it's his retirement fight, right? So he's not next. Max Holloway already lost to Ilia Topuria. Rufus, Justin Gaethje, get the fuck out of here. I'm so... Dude, is there anyone more fucking delusional than Justin Gaethje, man? I mean, this dude's asking for a title shot after he got fucking mauled by Max Holloway and got slept brutally by Max Holloway, and then beat Rafael Fiziev on short notice, and you're now expecting a title shot because of that, man? Like, get the fuck out of here. I saw some stuff of that Justin Gaethje. If he doesn't get the title fight, he's gonna retire. All right, good luck on your retirement, buddy. No one wants you in the fucking title picture. What we just saw Ilia Topuria do to Charles Oliveira, he will do that to you, Gaethje, and he will make it easier. The reason why people were like, oh, maybe Charles Oliveira has a chance is because Charles Oliveira has the grappling. Gaethje, you do not have grappling, man. You are fucking dead. You will get slept in a minute against Ilia Topuria. No one wants to see that fight. You're not going to win that fight, right? So, Gaethje, good luck on retirement, buddy. We all wish you a happy retirement. Good career. But, I mean, after Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, you can't give the Dan Hooker. So, it has to be Paddy Pimblett. And you know what? If they do make the Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett fight, I wouldn't really be that mad about it. I think it's a fun fight. I think it's a good fight. And I think it's pretty competitive, actually. I think Paddy Pimblett has a chance to make it interesting. I would still pick Ilia Topuria by KO within 1 or 2 rounds. But it's a good fight. This has been beef, been brewing for a long time. They hate each other, And when's the last time we got a fight where people hate each other, right? And the lead up to this fight would be absolutely amazing. They do face-to-faces. They would maybe do a world tour. The star power of this fight would be crazy, right? So, I'm not mad about it, and might as well make this fight now. Even though Paddy Pimblett doesn't deserve it, and we all know he doesn't deserve it. Like, everyone agrees he doesn't deserve it. I mean, why not, right? I think this is the one exception you could do, and might as well make this fight now before, like, let's say Paddy fights Arman, right? You don't really want to risk that, because if Arman has a really good chance of beating Paddy Pimblett, and if Arman does beat Paddy Pimblett in that hypothetical matchup, there goes, the promo for Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria. So just might as well skip line right now. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. He doesn't deserve it, but like, it's better than, Yair Rodriguez getting the title shot versus Volk. So I'm okay with it. Make it the end of the year. I don't really care. They put him in the octagon. It's whatever. Yeah, I would still pick Ilia Topuria, though. But you know what? One fight that we should get is the Islam Makhachev, dude. In Islam Makhachev, your time has come. Get back to the lightweight division. Stop bulking up for JDM. JDM, you can wait. JDM, it's all good. We got Ilia Topuria. Dude, because this is the fight that I'm saying this right now. If these two fought, whoever wins is the GOAT of the sport. I really do think so. I think if Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria happens, whoever wins that fight is the GOAT of the sport. And yeah, this would just feed families. I would love this fight. This fight was supposed to happen on yesterday. Anyway, like if Bilal won in May, this fight would have happened yesterday. So, I mean, now that Ilia Topuria did win, and now that like he has all this more star power, now this fight's bigger than ever. So Islam Makhachev, stop bulking up. I saw something. Islam even said that he has a hard time bulking up. He's only gained 2 kilos, right? So maybe take a break on bulking up. It's hard for you. So come back down. Come back down to lightweight, Islam. You know what I mean? Fight Ilia Topuria, man. I mean, like this fight would feed families. And you know what? I don't think Islam ducked Ilia Topuria in the first place. Maybe he did. I mean, but JDM is a hard fight. JDM is a tough fight, and like it's not like he ducked Ilia Topuria to go fight an easier fight. I think JDM is maybe as hard, but not as hard. Like a little bit less hard, but still a hard fight than Ilia Topuria. Maybe it's as hard of a fight as against Ilia Topuria. So I think this fight should happen, and I mean, like, why not make this fight happen? I feel like if I were the UFC, I would do anything in my power right now to make this fight happen. And what probably is going to happen is they do Ilia versus Paddy, right? Let's say Ilia beats Paddy. Let's say JDM beats let's say Islam beats JDM. Dude. that means the winner of it is the go to the sport. You know what I mean? And like Ilia Topuria, man, I think he has the ability. Like, if this fight does happen, no matter if it's at 155, right, or if it's at a catch weight like 160 or something like that, if this fight's at 155, I'm picking Ilia Topuria, man. I would still go with Ilia Topuria to knock Islam out, and I'm gonna go even beyond this, and people are gonna really disagree with me on this. I think Ilia Topuria could submit Islam Makhachev, right? And that's a really hot take, but I just saw the odds for Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, like hypothetical odds. Ilia Topuria is like a plus 115. That's really close odds, you know. Obviously, Islam is going to be, you know, the favorite because he's just better, and you know he has more legacy and he's bigger, and you know Islam's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, right? But Ilia Topuria could shock the world, man. I'm telling you, this would be a crazy fight. This fight would feed families. Whoever wins this fight is the go to the sport, no matter what. And we need to see this fight. This is like can we please see this fight before either one of them retires? Islam Makhachev has like 3 fights left. Ilia Topuria has like 3 fights left, right? So I want to see this fight before either of them retires, before it doesn't happen. And yeah, I mean, like, Ilia Topuria is him, man. I think he's the best fighter I've ever watched, pound for pound. I think he's a better fighter. I mean, his confidence. I'm a big Ilia Topuria glazer, but his confidence is like what sets him apart from everyone else in the sport. The fact that he predicted that he would knock out Volk, Holloway, and Oliveira, like, just listen. Like, all of my predictions are just gonna be like, how does Ilia Topuria want to do it? Okay, that's how he's gonna do it, right? I'm just saying, dude. Ilia Topuria is him. He's my favorite fighter on the planet, and I really think he could beat Paddy. I really think he could beat Arman, and I really, really think he could beat Islam, right? And I don't know what's next for him. I think they're probably gonna make the Paddy fight, even though he doesn't deserve it. But I don't really have a problem with it. You know what I mean? Make the Paddy fight, I guess, because it's kind of like a logjam in the lightweight division. Like, who really is next for him? Like, theoretically, it's Arman. Arman's the 100% number one contender, but the UFC said it's not going to be Arman. So just do it against Paddy. You know what I mean? So yeah, Ilia Topuria is fucking him. I don't know what else to say about this man. I mean, the fact that he went in there and controlled the fight and knocked Charles Oliveira out within 3 minutes, which is probably one of the saddest things I've ever seen on live television. Like, this is up there with 9/11, man. But I think Ilia Topuria is the best fighter, pound for pound. I think he's number one pound for pound, and I think I don't see him losing to anyone. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Ilia Topuria is amazing, and that's it. Goodbye.